Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Spec Ops The Line. This is kind of a weird Let's Look at for me. For one, it's AAA, and I don't do a whole lot of Let's Look Ats or, impressions videos of AAA games. But this is one that intrigued me. I mean, if you're not familiar with my history with Spec Ops The Line, basically I'm one of the Saving Progress podcasts. Mike Fox and I shit-talked the game pre-release, and we're like, this game looks like it's gonna be garbage, blah 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 blah, sandstorms, who cares? And then when it came out, it actually got a fair bit of praise. It seemed like it was getting like, high 7s, low 8s, and people were like, well, maybe the gameplay's a little bit samey, but it really makes some brave decisions with the storytelling. So when I saw that this went on sale in the Steam sale for like a third off, it was also on sale on Amazon for 50% off, I figured, you know what? Fair play, Spec Ops The Line, I will give you a chance. So here we are, about a month post-release, checking out Spec Ops The Line and letting you guys know if this is the sort of thing that is worth investing your money in, depending on your taste. So we're going to start here. And I'm about halfway through the campaign so far, by all accounts it seems. And I should point out, this seems like a very, very short game from a campaign perspective. I've only got a little bit over 2 hours invested, and I'm already, by all accounts, looking at the amount of levels in the game, it seems like I'm about halfway through. But we are going to start fairly early on here. And maybe we'll start on chapter... let's go with chapter 2. And we'll save it here, I guess. I'm on chapter 7 right now, as you can see. So there's difficulty settings here. We're going to stick with normal for now. I've actually died a fair number of times on normal. By no means is this an extraordinarily easy game, but it's not an extraordinarily difficult game either, by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm just trying to remember where the heck we are now.
Not to argue, but this ain't exactly within our mission parameters.
Yeah, well, our mission went from recon to rescue the minute we found U.S. soldiers butchered.
Fucking orders. I like it.
Orders ain't worth following if it means leaving people to die, Lugo.
Alright, so we should be entering some gameplay soon, and I'll explain just what the hell is going on so you guys aren't lost anymore.
No, he'd agree with me.
Tracks end here. Guess this is the nest.
Yeah, it's quaint. Very post-apocalyptic.
Alright, so this is, as you can see, a third-person shooter, and we are playing as this gentleman right here. I can indeed see his face. Should point out, by the way, that I am playing this on the PC right now. So, standard third-person shooter controls WASD to move around, right mouse button to look down the sights. We can add a silencer to our gun or take our silencer off, which is what I think I did right there. Let's put that back on for now. You can also change weapons, like a Halo system where you can only hold 2 weapons at once. Looks like I have like a Tech 9 with me as well. And we'll move along here. So what's happening? This is obviously Dubai right here. What happened is that before this story started, before the game actually started, the largest sandstorm in human history, a series of large sandstorms, I guess I should say, have hit Dubai. And at this point, the whole city is like evacuated. Like nobody lives here anymore. It's just a total wasteland. But there were U.S. Army divisions coming back from Afghanistan. They got caught in the sandstorm and decided to try to help with the evacuation. And then they just disappeared until eventually we got a distress message from them, and now we are coming in to rescue them. But the story takes many twists and turns throughout throughout what I've seen so far, anyway. And actually, I will applaud the game for having an unusual story that it's not afraid to take like bold chances. Like main characters or characters that seem like they're going to be main characters get introduced, and then they get killed like 2 seconds later. You can also execute people by using the left shift key here. Maybe not the most tasteful way of doing an execution there. But, by and large, this is a cover-based shooter. There's lots of sprinting. Okay, let's pick up the grenade. There's lots of sprinting to cover. There's lots of popping out of that cover to shoot people. And then there's lots of, popping into the next cover. So we're just going to try to figure out where the heck we're going here. Obviously, this is our area right here. Pretty much every time you want to go somewhere, it's illuminated in lights. This is a very early mission. This is probably like less than half an hour into the game. But I wanted to do an early mission so we didn't have too much in the way of spoilers. There we go. And this is actually kind of a cool scene because there is like this, it almost feels like a Hollywood movie scene. Let's make sure this guy's actually dead. I'm trying to be merciful here in the sense that it is like soundtracked by this music. And at first it seems like, okay, they're just kind of like shoehorning music in here, which is a little bit weird. But in actuality, this kind of plays a role in the story, which is kind of neat. I mean, this particular song, oh god, that was bad. This particular song does not play a role in the story, but, the fact that the song is playing right now will play a role in the story that you'll see a little bit later. So yeah, I mean, I have the same complaints about this game so far that it seemed like a lot of reviewers had, or a lot of people who played the game, which is that for all the bold decisions, apparently I should point out this is inspired by like Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, as well as Apocalypse Now in terms of like its depiction of war as having like no glory and no honor and stuff like that, just like total clusterfuck constantly. We can switch for an AK-47, which I'm not gonna do. But you know, from a gameplay perspective, I have been exceptionally bored. This just feels like any other. Oh, I'm gonna die here probably. It feels like any other, you know, like mid to late 2000s, like modern military first-person or third-person shooter. Like, you just go into cover, get behind the cover, clear waves of enemies that come with your superhuman shooting ability, apparently. Although I didn't really shoot that well right there. And then, you know, it's on to the next wave after that. So I do think that from a story perspective, this game, you know, makes some interesting choices, and I think it's admirable that they didn't just make it like... I mean, I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, but I think it's admirable that they didn't just make it like Americans or North Americans invade Middle Eastern country and kill all natives. Instead, there's a little bit more of like some moral ambiguity going on here. It doesn't just treat this as like, I don't know, a standard story for a game of this type, I should say. But yeah, the gameplay is so samey and so like... Well, I'll just let them talk for a second.
Let me go on record and say this shit just got weird.
Yeah, so in this mission that we're on right here, we were just supposed to rescue some American military personnel, but now weirdly enough, it seems like they're running like an American radio station here. And, you know, things in Spec Ops: The Line start strange, and there are times when they get even stranger, and I think I actually really admire that about the game. I just wish that the gameplay wasn't so goddamn boring and like by the numbers. And I mean, I hate to say that. Is this ammo or that's grenades? Oh, this is ammo. Okay. Pick up. Oh god. I mean, I understand that there are people that like these kinds of games, and I don't begrudge them. I'm not one of those people who thinks like Call of Duty is the worst thing to happen to the gaming industry, despite the fact that I'm not necessarily a big fan of that game. But what I will say is that, like this, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Duke Nukem Forever. Like, you go through these sections, like these waves of enemies. You kill them all. You pick up their ammo. Sometimes there's turrets. If there's a turret, you better goddamn believe that you are going to have to get on that turret at some point and shoot some people that are going to come. Again, in waves. I don't know. It just strikes me as a very uninteresting type of gameplay. Graphically, the game looks fine. It plays fine, although I have occasionally run into glitches. Like, I completed a mission once, and it played this cutscene. It might have even been this mission. And it played the cutscene without any audio from the characters, and it wasn't a deliberate design choice. Like, the characters' mouths were clearly moving, and I was clearly supposed to be able to shoot them. Or, sorry, not to shoot them, to hear them. But I just couldn't, and so I didn't understand what the hell was going on with the story. And when it cut back, there was just like a dude screaming. I guess we can get on this turret here to explain what the heck I'm talking about. I am so fucking sick of turret sections in shooters. Oh, let's get this down here. Yeah, so there's been glitches like that that have actually taken away from my ability to enjoy this game to a certain extent. But by and large, I want to get more ammo. I'm having a decent time with it so far. I can trade this gun for an AK if I want to, if I could find one. I'm having a decent time with Spec Ops: The Line so far, and I'm definitely going to finish it, if only because it's so short. Oh man, I died here so many times. Apparently this is a grenade launcher slash sniper rifle of some sort. The Scar. I should know this because I play Counter-Strike, but I don't think the Scar has a grenade launcher in Counter-Strike. Yeah, I died here many times. The one thing I will give this game credit for, I mean, I appreciate that a lot of people are not fans of regenerating health, but you can die. Remember, I'm playing on normal here. You can die fairly quickly, despite it being on normal mode here. And apparently, I guess, if you execute certain difficult shots, you will build up that, like, marksman meter. I'm not sure if that ties into, like, unlocking new weapons or achievements or anything like that. I should also point out that I have not touched the multiplayer at all. I've only touched the single player. And I probably will not touch the multiplayer, because I don't think that, like, playing this online necessarily would appeal to me. But of course, if you are one of those people who loves, you know, playing multiplayer shooters online like this. Shit. Okay, let's try to find a place to hide. I always mess up this part. No, not that way. Get down over here. It was that RPG that blew up my cover. Somehow these guys apparently can't shoot me. So we'll take that guy down, reload. I really don't have much in the way of ammo left. That's fine. I think that guy died. Yeah, if you're one of those people who likes playing, you know, multiplayer shooters online, definitely I would encourage you to seek out another opinion on this before making your decision one way or another. Because I'm not the kind of guy who's going to spend like 30 hours playing Spec Ops The Line online. It's just not really my style. I more picked this up because I was interested in the... Oh, I'm out of ammo. Because I was more interested in the story, which was... Oh, shit. Totally out of ammo. Let's take the AK here. Because I was interested in the story, which had gotten a lot of praise. And so far, like I said, I mean, I've said this 30 times so far already. Story seems interesting. Makes some cool choices. Is more unique, I think, than your average shooter like this. And, of course, these sandstorms come in now and then. This is what I was kind of mocking in that podcast where I was like, oh, cool, there's, like, sandstorms and, like, shifting geography and stuff like that. And that does indeed happen a lot. There's a lot of sections like this where the environment just collapses and then... Oh, you have to shoot on one hand here. Okay. And then this should be the end of that little section right there, I think. I'm almost at the next rank for rifle. Or I guess, like, finish the rank for rifle. Because that is what I've been primarily using. I think we'll play a little bit more here. Just to show you that, you know, that wasn't just one mission. Things continue on a very similar path to that as things go forward. But overall, this is the kind of game that, at least for me personally, I have a difficult time recommending for, you know, I think I paid $33 for it. But if you're going to buy this in the near future, you're probably going to be spending, you know, $50 to $60 on it. I can't really recommend it for that because it seems like... Oh, there's another gun, or ammo at least, that we can use. That's more useful. Seems like, you know, campaign mode, incredibly short. I feel like, you know, it's that old Groucho Marx anecdote. Do we have to open this door? Oh, I remember now. Yeah, it's okay. 1 second. We've got waves of enemies coming in now. The old Groucho Marx quote is like, man, the food here is terrible. Yeah, and the portion sizes are small too, right? Like, I'm like, wow, I don't really like the gameplay of the campaign of Spec Ops that much. And yeah, it's so short as well, but... You know, there is something to be said about that. If you are a fan of this kind of gameplay, you're not gonna... Oh God, you're not gonna find a whole lot of it in the campaign mode. At least I would reckon. It's the first time I think I've used reckon outside of an ironic context. I would reckon you'd probably get, you know, maybe 4 to 5 hours out of the campaign. Like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that most people are probably better at these kinds of games than I am. Because I don't really play these too often, so you're probably going to be faster than I am, and also die less, so, you know, 4 or 5 hours maybe for the campaign seems like a reasonable estimate. I don't know how that compares to other games of this type of, you know, for $33. Doesn't seem like the greatest value when you're not getting... Oh, there we go, we got an achievement from Marksman Rifle. It doesn't seem like the greatest value. I mean, it's different if it was a kind of game, you know, like Portal, where it's very different and the puzzles are uniquely designed and the gameplay is all... inherently exciting and exhilarating even, but in this it's just like, okay, pop out from cover, shoot, pop out from cover, shoot, etc, etc. What I kind of wanted to do after I played this game for a couple hours, and I will say my impressions of this game are decent. I wouldn't say that I'm particularly negative towards it or particularly positive. Well, I'm definitely not particularly positive. But I kind of wanted to shatter the mystique, because this has kind of gotten praise for people who wouldn't normally... Oh, it's like a C4 here. That wouldn't normally praise a game like this, just for its, like, bold storytelling choices. Is the story good? Yes. Is it worth spending, you know, $35 to $60 on? I don't think so. So I think we have another, like, cutscene coming up here. Also, the controls feel sort of wonky on the PC. I played a little bit of this with the Xbox 360 controller, and it felt better. I think this is a game that was quite clearly designed for consoles. Because, I don't know, the like, mouse acceleration just doesn't feel quite right. And, you know, some of the controls are a little bit wonky, like... Oh, I still have the scar. I should probably get rid of that. Yeah, like using spacebar to sprint, but it's not a hold thing. It's just a toggle. Like, you hit it, and then it just snaps you to whatever... whenever cover is closest to you. Anyway, we got another cutscene here. We'll watch this and play a little bit more. It's Nico from Grand Theft Auto 4, obviously. Along with Phil Fish.
Soldier, the one we took from the plane. Downstairs, sir. Is he being guarded? At all times. Good. Think I'll go say hi. Agent Custody. Wait. What? He won't talk, sir. He'll talk to me.
Walker, that guy was American.
Yeah, I noticed.
Why are the locals taking orders from the American? And why has he got a hard on for the 33rd?
I have no idea. Shit. Ask him yourself.
They're still alive. Take care of them.
And then we snap seamlessly back into gameplay that we have seen, you know, 30 times before in this video already, and 100 times before in real life. Or not, well, not in real life, I hope. Unless you live in a horrible war zone, in which case I feel for you. But, you know, in other games is what I was trying to get at there. Also, sometimes the game does this really shitty thing where it just, like, I mean, sometimes the radio man is actually, like, it makes sense that there's a song playing, because there's a song playing in the environment that you're in. Even if that is an excuse to just play some licensed music that might appeal to people or make moments more cinematic, at least they shoehorn, like, some kind of reason in there. But sometimes they will just play, like, some music for the fun of it, it seems. Which, I don't know, kind of seems to take away from it a little bit for me. Like, I don't need my, like, my turret sections here combined with nu metal. Like, that's something that doesn't really appeal to me. So that's kind of cool. Sometimes you can, like, shoot out glass in the environment and sand will pour in and, you know, take enemies out very easily. Sometimes you shoot a dude and his head explodes. That's kind of neat, I guess. But we are just going to move along here. And, like I said, the campaign's pretty short, so I don't want to show too much more. For the risk of us, like, actually showing off too much and maybe spoiling some of the game. Suffice to say, I mean, there's probably some people watching this that have already beaten Spec Ops: The Line so far. My, expectation so far, everything in this game, you know, story-wise so far, points to there being a huge twist at the end or very close to the end. It's projecting towards that almost every way that I can possibly imagine. I can't really articulate why without spoiling it, but suffice it to say, I would be very surprised if there was not a monumental spoiler coming close to the end of the game, or monumental twist, I should say, coming close to the end of the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if I knew more or less what that twist was. Let's kill this dude. Oh, I'm probably gonna die here, actually. Nope, managed to survive. For now, anyway. Thank God for regenerating health. Totally A-okay for those 4 bullet wounds I took earlier. I actually don't hate regenerating health. I know that it's a polarizing issue. Some people really dislike it. But I don't like health bars either, because, like, you just pick up a health pack and suddenly you're fine. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get inside of here. And I will exit now, because I think that is all I really want to show off of Spec Ops: The Line. So far, my impressions of the game, it's difficult to say. Gameplay is boring. I don't like it from a gameplay perspective, and I don't think it is worth suffering through the gameplay to get the story, as good as it might be. And again, I'm only halfway through, but I have admittedly enjoyed the story so far. They don't shy away from showing, like, some shocking images that would, you know, probably offend your parents if you're, like, 13 years old. And they make some bold choices. They introduce characters, they kill those characters right away sometimes. You know, allegiances shift and things like that. But is it worth 35, 40, 50, 60 bucks to play that story, considering how kind of mundane and unexciting the gameplay is? I don't think so. I think this is the kind of game where if you're interested in it, I mean, you probably already bought it, but I would wait, maybe pick it up, you know, holiday sale, summer sale next year, year or two down the line for 5, 10 bucks. And you'll probably feel a lot better about your purchase. Let's check out quickly what the multiplayer mode is we've got here. I assume there's like some online co-op. See, Steamworks or LAN. Yeah, there's co-op, challenge mode, bonus content coming soon. So we can do quick match, private match, headquarters, and invite friends. Whatever, let's try this out quickly, see if we can get something going. So we have deathmatch, team deathmatch, destroy all the enemy vital points, and then we have to hit some ranks to unlock new ones. I don't know. Let's try team deathmatch, see if we can find anything here. Apparently I'm hosting the match. Awesome. I never really played third-person shooters online that much. I guess I played a little bit of Red Dead Redemption. So we're waiting for one more dude who may or may not ever come. I don't know. We'll wait in here for a few minutes. So yeah, in terms of my overall impressions of Spec Ops: The Line, I don't think most people will get their money's worth for this game. Let's talk about the knocks against it. Gameplay, super samey. Campaign, quite short. And, you know, just doesn't really do anything differently apart from its story. I mean, the story is the only reason I think that you would buy this game. Let's get out of here, because I don't think anybody is joining. That's not necessarily a knock on the online community. I'm sure, you know, for certain amounts of people, this game is bumping. might not be a great time right now. Maybe I'll check that out a little bit later. But for now, if you're only going to play the single player of Spec Ops: The Line, this is a game that I would definitely wait on and pick it up a little bit cheaper at a later date, because it seems a little bit expensive right now for the amount of content and the quality of content that you're getting. But certainly if you can get this for, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, I think that might be worth it to experience the story here. Just don't expect anything, you know, particularly engaging from the gameplay, which is pretty much a carbon copy of a lot of other first-person and third-person shooters that have come out in the last, like, 4 or 5 years. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.